What's up, world? Welcome back to another episode of Just Grow It, the podcast. I'm your host, Big City Gardener, and here we are at the final episode of the Kale Grow Guide, where we're talking about harvesting kale. Let's get to it. You usually harvest kale at two different stages. You either harvest it when it's in the baby stage or the smaller leaves, or when it's reached full maturity. You harvest kale practicing the cut and come again method. You're going to harvest the outermost leaves from the plant. Grab your favorite pair of pruners, scissors, shears, whatever you have on hand, and start by cutting the leaves that are lowest to the ground. Like herbs and other leafy greens, the more you harvest kale, the more it will produce. If you're trying to grow kale trees 4 or 5 feet tall, make sure you are harvesting your kale often. Harvesting the leaves triggers the plant to produce more leaves and grow taller. Do not leave your kale leaves on the plant for extended periods of time. The longer they stay on the plant, the harder and tougher and less digestible they become. Also, make sure you do not harvest leaves from the center of the plant. The center of your kale plant is where the new growth happens. If you cut the new growth, what usually ends up happening is the plant stops producing, and that's not what we want. You want to know how to make your kale harvest last longer? Harvest your kale early in the morning when it's cool outside. After harvesting it, wash it and store it in a plastic bag with a few drops of water. Those drops of water humidify the bag, helping keep your kale leaves fresher longer. I love growing kale because of how versatile it is. You can use it in soups, you can eat it raw, you can juice it. There's many different options for your harvested kale. If you are going to eat it raw, a tip to help make it more digestible is to make sure you massage your kale leaves first. Chop the kale into pieces, apply a little bit of lemon juice or olive oil, and massage it with your fingers. This will help break down the fibers in the kale, making it more digestible. If you're not juicing or cooking the kale in a soup, then I recommend you de-stem the kale. Now, while the stem is highly nutritious, it is also highly fibrous. And some people will even say that it is inedible. The easiest way to de-stem kale is to hold the stem in one hand and hold the base of the kale plant in another, and then simply pull your hands apart. You'll remove the stem out of the middle and be left with the leaf. And once you have the leaf, the world is yours. That's it for this episode of Just Grow It, the podcast. What I need you to do now is to recommend this show to a friend and go outside, get back in the garden, and just grow it. Until next time. Before I let you go, I need you to do more than one thing. First, I need you to like, comment, subscribe to the podcast. Second, I need you to tell a friend or two about the show if you enjoyed it. And if you have anybody you think I need to talk to, I should interview, send the name over, put it in the comments, or send me an email, igrow@BigCityGardener. And check me out, man, on Instagram and on all social media platforms, Big City Gardener. We out. Oh, almost forgot. Just grow it.